I'm Floyd and welcome to World of Tanks. Today we're in the T30, we're on Tundra. So the T30 is pretty much a beefed up T29. I mean, in terms of the turret and hull, the armour is pretty much exactly the same. 102 in the front of the hull, 76 at the sides and 51 at the rear. The turret is 279 at the front, 227 sides and 102 at the rear. Exactly the same as the T29. The traverse speed is slightly different, 22 degrees a second for the hull and a mere 18 for the turret. Very slow. If you get into trouble, you really do need to use the hull of the tank to help you get that turret round. But it angles pretty much the same as the T29. In fact, you just pretty much treat it as a T29. Now, I say it would be a beefed up T29 if I was using the 155mm gun, which is the gun of choice for most T30 drivers, I've noticed. I mean, it's got 276mm of penetration with AP and 320 with premium. With an average damage of 750, but you're doing that every 18 seconds. You've got brothers in arms on, you'll drop it down to 17 and a half seconds, sorry. 7 seconds, I wish. And if you fire the HE and manage to get the 90mm of penetration to get through, you've got a good chance of getting 950 points of damage. Coffee needed, I believe. And the dispersion on the 155 is 0.37, which is actually better than the one that I'm actually using, which is 120mm, which has a dispersion of 0.39, which is rather bad. It's not a sniping tank, this one. You pretty much, well, I do anyway, I pretty much treat it as a heavy, like a T29. Try and get it into hold down positions, and it does side scrape the same as a T29. So even at this tier, so you can get in and brawl. If you get shots head on, you've only got 102mm, so you're not going to bounce a great deal. But if you can angle it slightly, you've got a good chance of just taking track damage. So the gun that I'm using is the 120mm on this tank, and it's got 248mm of penetration with AP, 297 with premium, and a mere 60 with HE. Average damage with premium and AP is about 400. If you manage to get the HE to go through, you get about 515 thereabouts. But the reload is around about 8.5 seconds standard. If you've got brothers in arms and vents like I have on this tank, it's down to 8.01, so 8 seconds. Which I think, for me anyway, that's the way I generally play. That suits me down to the ground. It does mean I'm pretty much just driving a T29. That's the only thing. I mean, it's got me down as a TD, but I'm pretty much driving it like a heavy. But to be fair, even in the T29 and the Tier 9 game, I don't feel because of the way the tank is overpowered, or in certain aspects I suppose it is. So you can use that with this tank in its own tier. So, and obviously you've got a few more hit points to deal with as well. Then again, they are doing a lot more damage. Okay, so getting into the game, we are down. Would normally be a heavy fight in this corner, isn't it, to take the hill. But we're the only ones down here. It's me and the T34. The T34 is behind. We did have an AMX, but he died fairly early on. He spotted, and then rather than getting into cover, he just seems to sit there and take the damage. I know he's got a clip, but when you've got multiple tanks shooting at you, they will fire just as quickly as you will. So hopefully he's learnt that lesson. We're going to have to try and get back up and get another shot. We've already put one in on the SU. We took a bit of damage for it as well. It's the Leopard. Oh no, that's the FCM, sorry. Looks like he's moving around into position. That's not good. Get a shot on him. Ah, there's a Leopard. Get a shot on the Leopard. I took one as well. I'm struggling a little bit. They're starting to push it on the other side of the map though, so I think this lot may start. It look like they're trying to manoeuvre into position. You've got the Leopard and the FCM both come round off sniping deck. There could well be some team play going on the enemy team. That's never good. Get one to pen him. he's starting to move into position. Let's see if I can get another shot on him fairly soon. Be a nice side shot, and it bounces, which is pretty much what these guns tend to do to you. They both this and the 155 are very unpredictable in their penetrations. As high as their pen is, they do tend to bounce and get absorbed by tracks an awful lot, or even miss for that matter. That, again, these aren't accurate guns. Not for TDs anyway. They're very much brawling tanks. But you just can't seem to do that with a 17-second or an 18-second reload. That's why I go for this gun over the other, even though it's got less pen, less accuracy, but it's got a faster reload. So we should push up for the SU-100. Incidentally, that WC that push round was very unhappy about running into a T-34. I don't know if you noticed that in chat. He wasn't happy at all. They were kind of hoping for a quick kill on the T30. The T21 did me an awful lot of damage when he was up there with his fast reload. Got me down to, was it 11 hit points. The IS-8 is out. We should be able to get a sneaky shot on the E75. But this is just a slow tank. I mean, it's got 800 horsepower, 860 horsepower, and it does around about 35 kilometers an hour. But that's generally on the straight. So with this tank comes a choice. You can run it as a TD, in which I would probably use the 155mm, because you'll be hanging back slightly. You can't hang back too far because it's, again, not a very accurate gun. Or use it more as a TD and a bit more in their face, and which is how I've got it set up, and it's why I've got the faster reload and the 120mm. Now I've chosen this replay over other ones with a lot more damage, is because you can use the tank. Seems to come with its own reputation. People seem to see this and panic, and the faster reload really does put them out of step as well. We held that corner with just two of us, and had they swarmed, we would have lost pretty quickly, but they didn't. So not a monster game. It was more about just holding the corner anyway. So we did just under 2k damage. It's not massive, but at least we did some damage. So we fired 8, we hit 8, but we only penetrated 6 shots, which is pretty much the characteristic of the gun. It does tend to do that to you, and the same goes for the 155mm as well, which I will be putting on the tank, and I'll go off and we'll do some games in that, and I'll come back in a few weeks or so, and we can have a look at that one as well. But I figured this gun was worth a look, because you're going to get this one from the T28 prototype, so you'll bring it forward when you first get the T30.